Hello, YouTube, and a happy new year. Well, finally out of 2020. So I hope you all had a safe and nice Christmas. I had a quiet one. It was interesting. Spoke to family and friends and on Zoom and all that. And it was all right. It got through. I saw it like a bank holiday weekend. So, but then I decided to sit down. This has been a difficult one to do. I've been thinking about what can I do for Couldve being a classic. We've got New Year coming up this weekend. So I thought, let's go into bras and panties, loads of gorgeous women, and let's just go into the utter ridiculous. And I have to say, I have watched all of this over Christmas, and you know, I fucking loved it. 1995's Black Scorpion.
In a dangerous world.
Well.
In a treacherous time.
Looks like somebody wants to play cops and robbers.
Evil has cast a dark shadow over the city of angels.
I'm going to open up the San Angelo vault and bury the city of angels.
But from out of the darkness, behind the mask, courage stings with a lethal venom.
Launch. Computer, engage arsenal. Fire. You're too late, Black Scorpion. No, it can't be. Give it up, prankster! Fire.
Joan Severance in Black Scorpion 2, Aftershock.
This crime just doesn't pay anymore.
Well, hello and welcome. So after the intro, yes, we're talking about 1995's Black Scorpion, which ran. There were two movies on VHS. We're going to go into all this. And it's going to be a bit of a difficult decision today because I see a lot of potential in this one. Black Scorpion from the two movies to the TV series. And if you're wanting cleavage and tight asses and leather boots, this is the one to check out. Right, and I have to say, the classic legend himself, it was created by Roger Corman, and I think he created just masterpiece after masterpiece of complete, utter rubbish, which I just love. I've got a load of his movies. So, right then, Roger Corman, man, he's, wow, you know. So, let's get into this. Darcy Walker, detective with big chest and tight-fitting skirts for work. Oh no, look, I'm not. I'm not. I'm trying. This is of the time, right? This is in the 90s, right? Darcy Walker, played by Joan Severance, and my God, she was a babe back in the day. She still is now. I've seen a picture of 61 now, and I'd go out with her. You know, absolute stunner. Right, anyway, she's got this, like, she must be 6 foot. I mean, her legs are immense, you know. So anyway, she's a detective. Her father gets killed. He's a security guard. He's a bit of a pissed off cop. He was a bit of a maverick back in the day. Wife left him, brings his daughter up and tells her the story of the scorpion and the frog, which is the fox, isn't it? But they've altered it. And there's a super villain called Breathtaker who's hypnotizing people with gas, who turns this DA, walks into a bar, kills her father, because her father shot him years ago. It must have, when he was being held hostage, he shot through his, so 2 guns went off and punctured his lungs, and he's in this life support suit with super strength, and he can fly a bit and all this, and he's bulletproof. And he's pissed, and he wants to poison everybody, so everybody has to live in suits like him. I mean, that's basically it, right? So her dad gets killed, and then she's, you know, it's really freaking her out. And I mean, she works with a load of dickheads. I mean, you've got the captain of the police force. He's just there, and these two detectives, they're just like fucking idiots, right? They're comic relief. Captain's always smoking all the time, incapable of doing his job, just sits on cigarettes saying he's stopping. Two dickhead detectives, and then you've got her partner, and is it on and off? I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, it's kinky, and it's this has got everything, right? Right. So anyway, old Darcy Walker, after her dad gets killed, she gets suspended because she went down threatening DA with a gun, and I don't know. She's talking to some friend of hers and says, like, you know, about this black tight dress and all this. No, about, you know, wearing black. And she suddenly gets like into this idea. She creates this identity for herself, the Black Scorpion, and she has an electric charge in a ring and a whip. I'm not, no shit, right? A whip, right? So anyway, the phylum boots and she's off. So she's out there, right? And she turns up, she beats some criminals up, and she starts getting known around town, you know, that whip and that, and she's turning up, like, sorting all these cheesy villains out. She's a martial artist, and she's a computer expert, fair enough. She's a detective, she's good with a gun, and, you know, she's actually, I have to say, I really did like her character, actually. She puts a lot of depth into it. So, you know, and good for Joan Severance. She really plays it up wonderfully. And, you know, she should have been an A-list actress. You know, she was so unusual looking. She's beautiful. So anyway, so she's like, you know, getting it off. And her partner becomes obsessed with Black Scorpion, and he wants to arrest her because she's going around beating out criminals. I mean, she kills a couple of them as well. I mean, it's quite dark. And they get into this whole battle thing with Breathtaker, and he's going to do his evil scheme. They built these big towers around the city, you see. There's this, like, big tower all, like, around the city. There's 12 of them, and he's going to use them to... It's meant to clean up all pollution or something, and he's going to reverse it. So she goes in, and there's a big fight, and she takes him out, and she finds out it's the doctor who were held hostage, who her father shot, who I think he was meant to shoot him through his shoulder, and it went through one of his lungs. The other guy's gun went off, obviously. So he's been bitten and twisted for the last how many years. And she tells, you know, my father, you know, he didn't mean to do it. He was, you know, and he's not having it. He's going to kill everybody. Anyway, she stops him and he dies. She tears his face mask off and he dies. And that's it. But I mean, there's some hilarious scenes because every time her partner, the other detective, he's like, every time she's always kissing him, you know what I mean? And he's like, you get this bit of a kinky thing because there's a bit where she gets hold of him and she takes him back she goes back to his apartment. She's waiting for him and she gives him one. I mean, they're at it. She strips off. She leaves the mask on, right? She starts riding him, right? All right. And she's got all the Black Scorpion mask on. Hey, for cosplayers, this is a must, right? So, like, when she's, like, you know, riding him away, he tries to pull her mask off and she stuns him with her ring. Now, she knows this ex-car thief and he's, like, a genius. As usual, they always have, like, a genius. He turns her car into Scorpion Mobile because they got hold of some... He used to be, he runs a chop shop and he used to be a thief. And he got hold of some highly advanced technology, a transmogrifier or something that can change the car at the molecular level. And by the TV series, I think she's put all this technology into, because she sees the weapons seem a lot more advanced. Now, she can jump. She has like this electro jump. She jumps up high. She's got this whip, a ring that fires a beam of like electricity. And she's very good. I mean, she does beat them all up. And she is quite ruthless. I mean, you know, by the second move, wow, I'm quite surprised. She does get rid of quite a few criminals, and she does cross the line. But you absolutely adore the character. I mean, the two movies have finally turned up on YouTube. So I watched the two movies, and then I sat through several episodes of the TV series. And I found it quite fascinating that I actually really got into into her character. I did like Joan Severance, who plays it in the movies. The movies are a lot more sleazier. They're a lot more, and I would say it's a bit more adult, you know, the movies, even though it's cheesy, you know, with scenes. And then the TV series, they sort of toned it down. But this comes from a time of the Flash. Do you remember the Flash with the outrageous villains and Xena and Hercules and all that? It were like, you know, they had all warrior women, didn't they? And it was all like cleavage shots and legs and even with fellas they were doing it with, you know. I'm not trying to like go on. I mean, look, I respect today, but this is of its time, and I have to go with how this was back then. I didn't think twice about it. Now probably today I probably would, because I have, you know, there's lady friends and females in my life that might not approve of this anymore. And I mean, I think a lot of women probably would like it. I mean, I could be wrong, shoot me down for that, but I am talking about what this is. It's a romp. It's good fun. The fellas, some of the fellas are made out to be complete dicks. The Darcy Walker character, there's quite a lot of depth to her. Joan Severance and Michelle Lintott play the character in the TV series and the movies. They play it beautifully. You actually do. I really do like the character of Darcy Walker. I find the people around her really annoy me, you know. And the thing is with Black Scorpion, like in the two films, a lot of like the scene where she's doing it with him and she takes off the suit and all this. It's sort of quite fascinating because it sort of seems to, when you take it to the more adult level, with the killing and the darker storyline, it sort of works, you know what I mean? It's based on, like, you know, remember Batman, the early Batman movies and the 60s TV series? Basically, it's like a mixture of that. I'd say Batman 4 with Arnie. It's like that, right? With a female. Now, she's marvellous, and I've watched some interviews with her, and she said she had a fantastic time making these, you know. And I watched some with Michelle Lintel in the TV series. They seem to have had a lot of fun making this, so, which I found quite interesting. Now, I think Roger Corman's a genius. I've always said that about Roger Corman. He's one of my favourite film directors and creators. A lot of people, he is definitely the king of the B movies. Now, this was made in 95. Now, I remember going into Video Library on a Saturday night and I saw the poster for Black Scorpion. And she was there, but I sort of ignored it. I didn't really bother with it. I just thought, what's that? So you know, and then years later, I was in Wales on a media course. I was living at a residential college, and I saw an advert. It was a trailer on one of these programs, TV pro, you know, where they're showing what's on in America and that. And I saw like a 30-second clip of her in the Scorpion mobile. And I thought, bloody hell, what's this? Then I realised a couple of years before, that was the film I saw in the video, like, which I never rented out. So obviously, when I returned home, I rented it out, and I thought, oh, this is really good. Then they made a sequel, and that came about 97. And you've got two villains in this. Now, I'm going to have to pull up some information because there's a load of villains in this. And you've got a lot of big stars pops up in it. Now, this never got shown in UK as far as I know. I know if it was on Sci-Fi, it passed me. I don't, because I used to be a constant watcher of the Sci-Fi channel. And this got past me, I don't know how. But as far as I know, it didn't get shown in UK. So I'm going to go somewhere for some information. So forgive me, I'm just looking now. Right, let's just go into a thing, right? Right, so here we are, Black Scorpion TV series. Black Scorpion is an action crime TV series that aired on the Sci-Fi channel in 2001. It aired in Canada on Space. The series is based on two Roger Corman Showtime TV movies. Black Scorpion, 1995. Black Scorpion 2 Aftershock, which we're going to cover in a minute. And then we'll move into the TV series. Darcy Walker, the Black Scorpion's real name is Darcy Walker, played by Michelle Lintel or Joan Severance. She lives in Angel City, a fictionalized version of LA, where she works as a police detective. Darcy's father was shot by city's crooked district attorney. The DA was arrested but charges were suspiciously dropped. That was when Darcy decided to take to the streets as the vigilante Black Scorpion in the original Corman movies. And basically, it's just her fighting villains every week. But there is a baddie in the background. That's the mayor, which they took that from the second movies. They got this corrupt mayor. Apart from being an excellent hand-to-hand fighter and an expert with computers, Black Scorpion, just like Batman, has no superpowers. She relies on various specially developed technologies, chief among them the car called Stingray with voice command weaponry and a disguise to make as capability to make it look like a regular Corvette. The Scorpion mobile in the first episode of the movie, which was destroyed, a new version was created for the run of the series and only one exists in the world. That's, yep, researched that. And you get all these characters, Detective Steve, Rafferty, Darcy's partner and love interest. I mean, when she does him, when they do it right, I'm sorry, when they have, when they get up to it, it's she erases his memory, so I mean, and so he keeps forgetting, because when he does find out in the first movie it's her, and he's shocked that he's so dedicated to his job. He says, I love you, but I'm gonna have to arrest you because you can't be going around doing what you're doing. But this gas from Breathtaking sort of makes him forget, which is good. But the problem is he's obsessed with Black Scorpion now, and he doesn't see Darcy in the same way. So she's got identity crisis, because like she's into him. He's sort of into her, but he's obviously into the Black Scorpion character because she's, because I mean, she's running around in that. I mean, I don't know what she does on cold nights, middle of January, you know what I mean? But it is set in Angel City, which is meant to be LA, so the sun will be out all the time. So you've got Specs and Slugger, a pair of incompetent cops that were work with Darcy and Steve. Often the pair get into crashes while chasing Black Scorpion. I mean, I ain't got time for these. Argyle Sims, Darcy's personal mechanic. He's the only person whom Darcy allowed to know her identity unconditionally, since he freely gave her most of high-tech equipment. He's somewhat a mentor figure to her at times. But in the TV series, it is really watered down with him. He's just like the inventor guy that creates all the weapons for him. He has a girlfriend and that. I mean, but it is quite comical, Tender loving Veronica, Argyle's girlfriend and a former hooker. She and Argyle are constantly arguing about relationship issues, right? Artie Worth, Angel City's extremely corrupt mayor. He got caught in second movie, but obviously he's the big bad behind everything in the TV series, but he's an idiot. Dr. Phoenix, a scientist who deals in reanimating the dead and creating clones. His goal is to take a criminal and reform him into a productive member of society as a result of several of Black Scorpion's enemy. Returned from fatal defeats and breathtaking inferno. Oh God, gangster fucking prankster. I mean, honestly, some of these characters are terrible. Captain Henry Strickland, he's just a fucking idiot. He just sits in office eating chocolate bars and smoking, and he's complete, like, got issues, but he's a boss. Right, we got Breathtaker Adam West, the first Batman. Gas dispensers, that's his weapons. We have Aftershock. Aftershock. Oh God, the gorgeous Shelley Rose. I remember her from the 90s. Skilled seismologist, weapons, Shockwave Gauntlet. I didn't want to do this one. The gangster prankster. He's in the background with the heart. He looks like Two-Face and Joker. He was just fucking terrible. The same way he gets his head blown off, where she blows his head off, but they bring him back because he gets restored from dead by the cell cloned or whatever. Skilled criminal mastermind with a warped sense of humour. I did prefer Mark Hamill's prankster on The Flash than to this. I mean, this guy was terrible. I don't care. You've got Firearm, a former cop in the City of Angels. Jack Ames was forced into early retirement when the psychotic general striker cost him an arm. outfitted with a prosthetic gun arm, aimed, resurfaced as firearm. And he went running around killing everybody, and she had to stop him. You got Hurricane, ex-photojournalist and criminal mastermind. Oh God, there's one where this woman, she's going around turning men into stone. She's like Medusa. You've got the incinerator, Medusa, there it is. Medusa, disfigured due to a schoolyard prank. Minerva Stone was cruelly nicknamed Medusa until the day she found the magic mineral water that restored her beauty. She then developed a cement gun that turned people to stone, which she then used on all bachelors that visited her spa in Angel City, placing them in her garden, with Steve being one of her victims. I watched that the other day. It was hilarious. And there's numerous villains. And there's quite a lot of big stars in this that sort of pops up. I was so happy with Adam West, but it's it's been an enjoyable run watching this. So that's some of the villains, right? That is some of the villains that's in Black Scorpion. Now, what is it about this series? Now, I've gotten into movies, right? Which the movies are more sexed up and they're a bit more, how do you say it, sort of in your face, the whole movie thing. Just sorting that out. Sorry about that. I've been looking at the other monitor. But it's all Black Scorpion. Now the TV series is a different actress. It's Michelle Lintel. Now, to be honest, I did prefer the two movies, actually. I don't know why. And I think Michelle Lintel, she's lovely. She is lovely, and she plays it well. But it's with the TV series, it's more cheesy. Sometimes it can get a bit annoying, because you're not taking anything seriously. I know for what it is, but I found after about 10 to 12 episodes, getting a bit I wasn't as enthusiastic. Once you seen her running about in black leather and rest and villains with cleavage again. I'm not complaining. But it's just, I found something like the background characters really fucked me off, really annoyed me. But, Black Scorpion, it's not bad. Now the series, I have completed it over Christmas, which I'm so glad because I had the time to do it. So it has been an amazing experience. Now, the TV series is sort of like the vibes it up. She's got an electro whip now. She's got an energy beam from a ring, and she can sort of transmute into Black Scorpion. Never really explains it. Only this guy called PT, character that I prefer the one in the movies. Really downgraded. He just gets nagged at all the time by his girlfriend. And he's like this super duper genius who just adds to all her arsenal. How she pays for it on a police officer, I don't know, but they manage it. And she has a secret room in her apartment. But then there's will she or won't she with her partner? And he's getting suspicious. You're always disappearing. Usually when she's becoming Black Scorpion. But there's a lot of episodes that are really good. There is a two-parter where all villains team up and kick the shit out of her. And she gives up being Black Scorpion, but they go on a rampage across town, destroying buildings. And there's more stock footage from, Earthquake, the movie from the 70s and all. Remember all that stock footage? The super villains are on loose, causing damage everywhere. Controlled by this, other super villain who's punishing them all. Anyway, she becomes Black Scorpion again, and she goes out and she kicks their entire asses. Because what happens is this professor, the cloner fucking dad who got killed, the cloner dad, right? And he's only alive for 24 hours, and he comes back and he says, look, you've got to go out there and do what you got to do because you're Black Scorpion. And she does. And it sort of puts the demons at rest at the end of it, because she's driven by, our dad got shot. Now, there is differences between the TV series and the films. Now, personally, I know I've said this, I preferred the films, and I can see where they were going with the TV series. And we do owe this series quite a lot, because if it wasn't for this, and The Flash and all that type of superhero stuff in the 90s, I know a lot of it were bad. But I quite like The Flash from 90s. I'm a big fan of John Wesley Shipp. I just like The Flash, But the villains were quite terrible. It was spandex and didn't make any sense really. I think today where it's all armor now, but Couldve plated, it makes sense a bit more. Back then it was just leather and whips, But it's if it wasn't for we wouldn't have the MCU today, or we wouldn't have the DCU. You wouldn't have CW. This is where it all comes from, because even though a lot of the superhero stuff back then were quite bad, look at Mantis, which we're going to get to that at some point. But these series sort of, were took us where we are today, plus they were restricted with special effects and budgets. But Joan Severance has definitely nailed it as Black Scorpion. Michelle Lintel, she's good in the TV series. But I think when they downtoned it to put it out on television, it lost something. Just a little thing. Not Michelle Lintel, she's marvellous. Honest, she's very good at being Black Scorpion. But in the films, there's something, I don't know, darker, which it would have been good if they could have crossed that over to TV series. Now, the question is, because Roger Corman was behind the two movies, could this have been a classic? Now, we're going to go into that. Yes. For me, there's so much potential in this, and I think Black Scorpion could be brought back today and made much darker. And, I think it'd work. I actually think, because when I was watching the two movies, I was seeing a lot of potential in the two movies. Because I remember Birds of Prey, that came out, I think, late 90s, early 2000s, and I think that was really well done, was Birds of Prey. I was a big fan of that. And this sort of sits in between all that, and Flash and that. But I think Black Scorpion shouldn't be written off. Black Scorpion today, I think, with really top writing as the 10-part series, make it quite dark and go into why she's being driven the way she is. I think when you focus on that, you've got yourself a hit TV series. I really do think there's so much potential with Black Scorpion. I'm surprised this hasn't been, how do you say, remade. It probably will be a lot of grey areas in it now, but I think that's what's sort of quite interesting. There'd probably be more like explanation. I don't think she'll be running around it leather basket filing boats like today, but I think there's something here that if you get into the darker nuances of Black Scorpion, I really do think this is right for now. I think it'd work. But yet again, what's so beloved about this is that 1960s cheesy villains, the 1990s mentality, when, they went for it back then. And I suppose some people would say, well, it's a bit offensive now. But I don't think it is. You see, the problem is today with a lot of stuff, people you're on about objectifying and people I'm not getting into the old left, right wing feminist or maleism or all. What it is, that things have been made and you can't deny what it is. It exists. There's 22 episodes and 2 movies. It's out there. It's on the net, and it has a fan base. Black Scorpion is what it is. It's the products of its time, and I think it holds today. I really do, because I've enjoyed it. I know I said about the TV series being a bit not as sharp as the 2 movies, but I did enjoy watching the TV series. I did get a sort of I left it for a day or so, and then when I went back to it, refreshed, sort of got into it again. But the thing is with Black Scorpion, if you want to go some fun and you want to laugh, this thing is worth it. But I think there's a lot more potential here that could be touched upon. I really do think there's so much potential here with Black Scorpion. I'm a fan, and I'm going to award it the title. So, I'm not trying to get into politics. One thing I don't do on YouTube is politics and all that. But sometimes people get funny about certain things that have been made, but you can't deny them things. I watched something called fucking Deathstalker the other week, and I was shocked at what I was seeing, and I did should have reviewed the Deathstalker series, but I'm not going to go, give it a look, but it's like it shows where our attitudes are from 1985, 87 to where we are now, how much we've moved on, you know, about a lot of things. And I'm quite shocked at what I saw, but it took a few hours to kick in until a friend said to me, he said, name a friend you'd watch that way. And he were right. You know, I have to say I'm quite shocked, and I don't think I'm going to bother with Deathstalk, you know. I mean, it was fun watching it. The second one wasn't bad. Anyway, back to Black Scorpion. I'm using that as an analogy. But Black Scorpion is worth it. You've got two fantastic lady actresses, you know, play this character to a T. The things that annoy me is the casting around it. The villains are great. They're out there. They're in your face. Ridiculous fucking schemes. And it's what you want. So, but like I said, with supporting characters, they're all a bit stupid at the police station. It'd be like, I suppose it's like Batman in the 60s. Nobody turned up and saw Commissioner Gordon when they used the bat phone. But in the films, it seemed more in touch somehow with films. It would, because it were darker and they could go more darker places with it. It sort of works. Do you know what I mean? Now, there is the sex factor. The women are beautiful in this. There's no, I'm a man. They are stunning, right? And that's the way it is. This is the 90s. It's how it was, and the early 2000s. But Black Scorpion is a classic, and it could be so much more. So I award you this week, Black Scorpion, movies and TV series, you could have been a classic. So that's my review. Give this a go. All of the beauty is it's all on YouTube, you know. And you know, I've really enjoyed this. This is the final, could have been a classic for this year. There will be another one in January. And yeah, I'm 6 away from 1,000 subscribers. So please give this video a like. I'd like to get to 1,000. I really, what's going to be interesting to see when I get there. Please subscribe, share, guys. Honestly, it would mean a lot. And so stay safe, but please check out Black Scorpion. It's an amazing series, and you'll see what I mean where you could go with this today. So, guys, I will be live after Doctor Who, I think, on New Year's Day. I'll come on for an hour, and we'll talk about that. Got to work out how to watch Doctor Who yet, because I don't, you know. So, but I will watch it when it's on, and I will find a way, because I don't watch normal television, so I'm gonna have to, you know, work out how to watch it. So, guys, stay safe. We're 3 months away from more or less spring. You know, let's get there. But we've got a lot to cover between now and then. And yeah, Happy New Year. And I'll see you on the next video.